Why does it seem so hard to get over an avoidant ex? I'm going to give you some clarity in this video, so keep watching. A dismissive avoidant and an anxious preoccupied are ironically drawn to each other. So a dismissive avoidant is attracted to the anxious partner's open-heartedness and vulnerability and emotional expression. See, people with an anxious attachment style, they're very open-hearted people. They're very good at expressing their emotions. And avoidance sees this, and they're very drawn into it. They see, because it's something that they didn't get to experience in their upbringing. Their caretakers were very, very distant, very emotionally distant. So when an avoidant sees this in an anxious attachment style, their open-heartedness, their vulnerability, their emotional expression, they're so drawn into it. It's like, wow, this is amazing. And this is all subconscious, but they're like, wow, this is amazing. I've never seen anything like this before. This person is so emotionally expressive. They're so open-hearted, and they're sharing this with me. I never got to experience this in my upbringing. This is amazing. I've never seen anything like this. So the avoidant is so drawn into this. Now, the anxious partner sees the avoidant's independence, and they're drawn into that because people with anxious attachment style, they struggle with their own independence. So when they see an avoidant and their independence, they're very drawn into that. Like, wow, I want to be a part of this person's life. They're so independent. I want to be a part of this. And that's how these two attachment styles are drawn to each other. But of course, Honeymoon Avenue takes its course. It comes to an end. And yeah, I got that from the Ariana Grande song, Honeymoon Avenue. But no, that honeymoon phase comes to an end. And what happens next is the enabling cycle starts. So an insecurity is going to be triggered. An insecurity is going to be triggered in either partner, right? If there's an insecurity triggered in the anxious partner, then it's going to show and it's going to trigger an insecurity in the avoidant, and it's going to cause the avoidant to pull away. Or an insecurity is going to be triggered in the avoidant, and the avoidant is going to pull away. So an insecurity is triggered in either partner, right? And then the avoidant pulls away, and then this is where the enabling cycle starts. When the avoidant pulls away, the anxious insecurities are activated. They're amplified. This is where the anxious partner's emotions are in overdrive. They're overthinking. They're trying to save the relationship. They're in panic mode. So the anxious partner is going to over-pursue. When they over-pursue, when they try to save the relationship, this is going to amplify the avoidance insecurities. When the avoidance insecurities are amplified, the avoidant is only going to create more distance. When the avoidant creates more distance, the anxious insecurities are further amplified. When that happens, the anxious person continues to over-pursue. And then this further amplifies the avoidance insecurities. And then the avoidant creates more distance. And this cycle keeps going, and it is not good. This is not a healthy cycle. These two attachment styles enabling each other. Now, we're going to come back to this. So remember this. This is the enabling cycle. We're going to come back to this in a moment. Now, as an anxious attachment style, in the beginning of the relationship, in the early stages, that honeymoon phase, as an anxious attachment style, everything seems fine, right? You feel fine in the relationship. You probably even feel pretty secure in the relationship. But yes, that's the thing, okay? If you're an anxious attachment style, you feel fine. You probably even feel pretty secure in the relationship, right? But it's not like you can't live without this person. You probably didn't feel like that in the early stages. I'm sure it was nice. It was a nice honeymoon phase, but you weren't feeling like, oh, I can't live without this person. No, you probably didn't feel that way. But this is why it seems so hard to get over an avoidant ex after breakup. Because when they pull away, when the avoidant pulls away, when they break up with you, it creates an illusion of scarcity. Okay? And this is where your nervous system starts alarming, and now it does feel like you can't live without this person. Your emotions are in overdrive, but because they pulled away so unexpectedly, whether they slowly faded away or they broke up with you, this activated your fear of abandonment wound. And again, it kind of created this illusion of scarcity. Oh, this is the only man in the world, or this is the only woman in the world. And that's why it seems so hard to get over them after breakup, because you're caught up in this illusion of scarcity. So think back to the beginning of the relationship. Yeah, it felt fine. It felt fine. It felt good. You felt pretty secure, but you didn't feel as if you can't live without this person. It wasn't until they pulled away unexpectedly that triggered your abandonment wound, okay? Put your nervous system into overdrive and created that illusion of scarcity. And then you suddenly felt like, I can't live without this person. This is the only man in the world. This is the only woman in the world. I need to be with them. And then that's when the enabling cycle starts. You start over pursuing, trying to save the relationship because you're caught up in that illusion of scarcity, right? So keep that in mind. Now, I was actually telling this to a one-on-one client the other day, but keep in mind your emotions, your brain chemicals, and your nervous system. It's all in overdrive after breakup, and it's clouding your judgment. And you need to give that time to settle. It takes time. So, how do you get over an avoidant ex? No contact and the passage of time. Those two things, no contact and the passage of time. And that's a big one, the passage of time. That can take a while, especially if you have an anxious attachment style. That can take a while. People with a secure attachment style, yeah, they're going to feel the heartache, but they tend to move on a bit quicker. But if you have an anxious attachment style, it's probably going to take you a little longer. It could take a few months. I'll be honest with you, it could take a few months, but no contact and the passage of time. You need that passage of time. Okay, you need to let that time pass. You need to give time for your brain chemicals, your emotions, your nervous system to settle down to baseline. You have to give it time to settle back down to normal. Now, here's what you don't do. Okay, here's what you don't do. And I'm going to show you again. Here's what you don't do. Don't get caught up in this enabling cycle after a breakup because it doesn't work. Okay? This is not healthy for you. It's toxic. It doesn't work. So don't get caught up. Don't get caught up in this enabling cycle. So how do you get out of it? You step away. You step out of this enabling cycle. Okay? You step out of it. You take a step back and you pull away. Okay? You don't continue to pursue and change your ex. No. Step out of this. Break the cycle. Okay? Break this cycle. Pull away. Step out of it. You go no contact. You take that time for yourself, and you give that passage of time. Now, see, I was telling this to my client. Your anxiety, your brain chemicals, it's telling you to over pursue. Okay, that's how people with anxious attachment style, they get caught up in this enabling cycle. Because one, they're probably unaware that they have an anxious attachment style. A lot of people are unaware, and then they get caught up in their anxiety, their overthinking. Their central nervous system is telling them that they're in danger, and their instinct, their impulse, the anxious impulse tells them to over pursue, chase their ex, try to save their relationship. You don't realize how much your emotions, how much your anxiety is controlling your decisions. You think you have free will. But when you're in that state of anxiety, in panic mode, you don't realize how much your emotions are making the decisions for you. So you have to be self-aware, and you have to step out of that, okay? You need to detach yourself, kind of separate yourself from your anxiety. Visualize this, okay? Visualize your anxiety being separated. And you tell your anxiety, no, I'm not going to listen to you. I'm not going to give in to that impulse, okay? Your anxiety doesn't run the show. You do. Remember that. Your anxiety does not run the show. You run the show. So you kind of have to visualize, detaching from your anxiety and telling your anxiety, no, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to get caught up in this enabling cycle. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to get caught up in the anxious impulse. I'm not going to get caught up in it. And allow that passage of time, right? Go no contact. Now, I'm not saying you have to block your ex on everything, but if that's what you feel you need to do, then do what it takes to maintain that period of no contact until you're over this person. And remember that scarcity, it's an illusion. It may not feel that way now. But that feeling of scarcity, it's just your brain chemicals, your nervous system in overdrive, your overthinking. So give that time. Give that time to come back down to normal. Give yourself time for your brain chemicals to come back to normal, for your nervous system to reset, okay? And one day, soon enough, You'll look back on this and laugh. Okay, you will. So I hope I brought some good into your life today. If so, please like and subscribe, and please share your stories and your thoughts and your ideas in the comments section. If you have anything else that you think I should cover, that you'd like me to cover regarding attachment styles or relationships, then please share them in the comments. I'll take a look at them. And if you think this video might help somebody, then please share it with them. Now, I do share a trick about how you can better protect yourself from when an avoidant pulls away. And I share that in this video right here, so give that a look and watch it till the end, because that's when I share the trick. And it's going to help you to protect yourself when an avoidant pulls away. Give that a look, and until next time, you take care. I'll see you in the next.